It's a 1996 Volante, Regal Volante. Just trying to get at the cable. So this thing just pulls right off. You have to just pry the center piece out. There's the plunger. Just take that out. And 19 mil bolt in the center. Once you get this yellow plate off here, the wiring doesn't seem to be attached at all to the assembly, so the shifter assembly just pops off on the inside. And now I'm going to pull it out. So there's the assembly popped off on the inside, and there's the cables. So now I'm going to try and weasel this thing back a bit. Looks like I have to cut a couple of ties, but no big deal. And then I've got to measure that cable and see how long it is, order a new one. So there's the shift cable coming through the Volvo Penta. It's a 1996 Cobra SXM drive. It takes a 10 mil socket or a wrench, and I just put a little bit of penetrant on there, and that undoes the clip. This is the clip that retains that shift cable in place. I don't think I have to take it all the way out, but we'll see in a second. Now, you don't have to take it all the way out. I can now get it past that. There's just a little collar. Fortunately, you can't see it very well here, but you'll see it, and it just fits into that bracket. So once you get it loosened up, you can push it past that bracket, no problem. So that's the tube that passes through the leg to the shifter, and there's the shifter cable right there. So I have to pull this off, and then I've tied a wire to the other end of the shifter. I'm just going to pull it through, and then I can use the wire to feed the new one back in. So it is this bottom one. That's the shift control. So I'm just going to count the threads before I pop the there's a cotter pin on the other side here, looks like. Yeah, a little cotter pin there, pops out, and then this just comes out, and looks very easy to come out, but it's just, I might just take a careful look at that spacing, just so I don't have to fiddle around too much with the setup. And then I'll get this thing out and measure it up. If you happen to have a one that attaches with one of these clips, I wasn't quite sure how to get that off, but I just took a screwdriver and just pry it underneath here, and it comes right off. And then you can just pull the whole cable right out of the plastic portion of the control box there. So there's the controller end of this cable, which ended up being about 13 foot 10 inches thereabouts. And this one was split. You can sort of see it. Focus isn't working too well, but let's see. Yeah, so you can see this split in the outer casing. There's actually an inner casing on this thing too, and it was totally fine. So I probably could have just limped along with this cable, but I'm probably going to be selling it to my friend, and even if I was to sell it to anybody, I'd want to make sure it was in as good a shape as I can get it in. Somewhere along here, let's just pause this for a second. There's the Teleflex stamp that's on this cable. So I don't know if that's of use to anybody. This is for a 17.5-foot Regal Volante. So in case somebody's having to do that precise boat, this would be your cable. I did struggle getting this thing in, but I undid all the clips that were holding this down pipe in position so that I could get a straighter run, and then I lubricated the cable and the end with some dish soap. That was the trick, and I just pulled it through. No problem. There she is. So if you're struggling with this cable, the dish soap makes a huge difference. So it wasn't that much fun getting that thing in there, but if you got a Regal, it's got a retainer clip that fits in the groove on the cable and then fits into the controller, and then that thing just snaps back on and holds it in place. That's where it was on the previous threads, but I think the cable length will be slightly different, but we'll start with that position.